100 Days of Main Comics, Week 3, Round 12. Greetings, people of the internet. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome, mad creators, to the underground laboratory where we create robots, alien zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. We also create comics, sometimes featuring robots, aliens, zombies, and all that cool stuff. This comic that I'm working on right now is part of the 100 Days of Main Comics challenge. This is round 3 for me. I've done it twice before successfully. I'm pretty sure I'll be successful this time because we only have like I think 2.5 weeks left of the challenge. That's a little scary because I've got quite a bit of work to do. But anyway, so the challenge, what that's all about is you spend 30 minutes a day, at least every day, working on your comic book project, and you do that for 100 days straight. And then at the end of that 100 days, oh, not at the end of the 100 days, but every day you let people know about it. In my case, I'm letting you guys know every week because, like I said, I've done this before. So I kind of feel that I've kind of proven myself that I can do that. But it's very important if you're starting for the first time that you update people every day, and you can do that on social media, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, or here on YouTube. The other thing that I'm doing this time is I am doing a 4-page anthology story, and that is for the 100s anthology part 2. We've already done one of these, and that's where anyone that has completed the challenge successfully is eligible to be in the anthology and submit a 4-page story. So that's what I'm working on. And the theme of the whole thing is werewolves and unicorns, or in sort of parentheses, other mythical creatures. So the general theme is just mythical creatures, all right? Mine features a Loch Ness Monster. Mine is also based on a Police song called Synchronicity 2. If you're a fan of 80s music, maybe you know about that. If you haven't, check out the lyrics and you'll kind of see what my story is all about. But anyway, so this is kind of what I'm working on, and like I said, we only have 2.5 weeks left of the challenge, but it's coming along, and I have finished. So my 4 pages are broken down into 2 double-page spreads, and you can have single pages or whatever, but the pages, the way they are paginated, is that the correct terminology? They're just basically the layout of the pages. It's not going to be like, you know, a typical comic. When you open it up, you're going to see that first page, and then you do the flip, and then you've got the double page, and then the next, you know, so on and so forth. This one, the way it's set up is, I think before each story, maybe a bio. So when you first open up, you're going to get that double page spread. So that's what I'm working on. I broke mine. You still don't have to do that. You can still break them up into single, but I figured I'd take advantage of that kind of layout. So I've been kind of working on 2 pages as one for the most part, and I've got those first 2 pages complete. And I may go back and add, I might still go back and add some kind of special ink effects with some splatters and things in certain places. For the most part, though, this one's done. So this is and I'll show you the process in this video, and we'll talk a little more about it. But this is what I have complete so far. And so yeah, that's that is kind of a load off, but I still have pretty much. Please stay. All right, thank you. I still have pretty much everything. I've ruled out all kind of the straight lines and anything that I you know, that isn't sort of more organic looking or whatever, like people and mountains and trees and all that stuff and monsters. So I've got that laid out, but so it looks like I've still got quite a ways to go, and but I do think that this particular page is going to go a lot faster than this one over here, so hopefully I'm not too worried, although there's so many other things, and we'll probably talk about that going on when I start when we go into the actual artwork and I show you the process and everything. But because there's not as many people on this, it was really difficult, and you know, like I said, I'll talk about it, but the people and just all that kind of stuff, really detailed stuff, and there's not as much. There is a lot of detail here, obviously, with the cars, but most of those are already done. As you can see, it's just going to be coloring, or not coloring, but inking it, you know, black spotting and things like that. So that's where I am right now. And yeah, so I guess without any further ado, I'll talk about kind of this week, what went on, what's going on, what's going to happen in the future, and I'll show you some of the process of this page. All right, so because the deadline for the 100 Days of Making Comics Anthology is kind of right around the corner, I thought I would talk about setting deadlines, or, you know, some deadlines are going to be set by other people, and then sometimes you have these self-imposed deadlines, and I am a big proponent of those. In this case, there's a hard deadline that's been already set, but it was set a while in advance. So the interesting thing, and some of this is just things that kind of fell into place for me, but basically everything that I'm working on right now, and I've got a lot of projects going on, are going to kind of coincide or come together, or you know, come to an endpoint at around the same time, which is kind of cool because, you know, it's like, oh, I've got a conference coming up, all right, and it's something that I plan. I looked at and everything, and I'm trying to figure out when to do this, and you know, all the stuff that I'm working on to get everything kind of done before this conference. So and the conference came later than the anthology. The anthology and the conference kind of, for whatever reason, they basically end at the same day. They both, or the anthology ends on April 11th, and the conferences starts on April 11th. So that worked out pretty well. The other thing that I've been doing right now, if you're paying attention, is I've got a Kickstarter running. And if you haven't already backed, and if you're interested, if you like kids versus zombie type stories, my comic book Young and the Dead is now live on Kickstarter. You can definitely go check that out at youngandthedead.com. But so it was really important that I started the Kickstarter, and, you know, in hindsight, maybe it was a good idea, maybe it wasn't, because, and there's certain things you can't prepare for, like the day that I launched my Kickstarter was the day that Facebook and Instagram crashed, which was not a good thing when you're first launching your Kickstarter. But I knew there was a small window that I needed to start the Kickstarter and get it to end before this conference, before the end of the 100 days, and that's a lot of stuff going on, and that's just part of it. I have two rather large freelance projects right now that are going to end at the end of March. So within a week, basically everything that I'm working on right now is going to kind of come to a head, and then after that will be the conference, which is kind of cool because the conference it's in Georgia, so I got to fly out there and everything, and it's you know, it's going to be an awesome experience, meeting people and everything, and learning and all that. But it's also sort of a vacation in a way, even though it's like a working vacation. I tend to think of that as a vacation, even though I'm not on the beach or anything. But it should be fun and everything. So hopefully, you know, and you know, I'll be able to relax a little more and everything. But that's a cool thing. So some of these, like with the Kickstarter, that was a self-imposed deadline. I'm like, okay, I've got to do it. I got to fit it right in here. But deadlines in general, I really tend to work well with deadlines. And if I didn't set a deadline, or if I didn't have one imposed upon me, it might get pushed aside. And I find that with other projects, like I've got a Trello board and everything with different projects and certain things, because I haven't set a deadline for, or a hard deadline, they kind of get pushed aside, like my digital products and everything. I'm working on a pro version of the Comic Maker Starter Kit, which you haven't checked out. That's a toolkit, a digital toolkit with all kinds of cool stuff for comic book creators, but I want to create like a deluxe one that's like, you know, 3 or 4 times as big with tons of stuff, and that's going to be like a premium thing that you can purchase. And I think just based on the response from the Comic Maker Starter Kit, which granted it is free, but I think people are really digging it. I think it will be hopefully a successful product. But even knowing that, I keep having to push that aside because I haven't really set that deadline. But you know, that's all right, because you can only do so much at a time, and I've got a lot going on right now. But after I come back from that conference, those digital products and everything, kind of area of my business and everything, that's gonna take precedence. You know, that's gonna be what I'm focusing other than, you know, future freelance obligations and things like that. So anyway, so it's kind of some of it is serendipitous, some of it just is me kind of planning things out, but it's kind of interesting how everything I'm doing is kind of leading up to this basically April 11th, when the comic book will be done. Now, I don't know if I will I mean, the comic book itself, my submission will be done. I don't know if I'm doing the cover artwork for this anthology too. I don't know if that will be done, and hopefully it doesn't need to be done. I got the idea from Mike that maybe it doesn't quite need to be done right then, but I'm hoping that, I'm thinking about investing in like an iPad Pro that I can bring with me and I can work digitally, and I might even be able to design some of that while I'm on the plane, or I'm waiting at the airport, or any of that kind of stuff. So so that can be, hopefully that'll work out that way. But yeah, so just, you know, if you're not a person that sets deadlines, if you're not a person or if you're a person that has meeting deadlines, you know, those, and everyone's doing this for different reasons. For me, this is something that I've been wanting to do as a career. Maybe that's not kind of where you're headed or what you're really interested in. Maybe you just like to draw or create comics for fun, or whatever. But if you do want to kind of do this for a living or thinking about it, meeting deadlines is probably the most important thing that you can do, because for one, it shows you're reliable, and reliability trumps pretty much everything, even the quality of your artwork and stuff. Because sure, if you can do an awesome painting but you can't deliver it on time when people need it, it's pretty much useless. So that's something you really need to work on. That's probably one of the most important things. So that's something I always pride myself on, is meeting deadlines. And you get better as you go. You kind of learn, you know, how long it takes you to do a certain thing and everything, and that's something that you want to kind of keep track of. Like if you're working on a project and you don't really know how long it takes, but I'm getting a little, you know, I'm getting better at that and everything. Now, as convenient as it is to have all these deadlines kind of coming to a head at one point, kind of easy to keep track of. I don't have to worry about all these little deadlines here and there. It's not like everything has to be done then. The problem is you've got all this stuff that you have to do by this deadline. It's like, oh, how am I going to do all that? Now, so far I'm not getting too nervous, but this project, you know, the 100 Days of Making Comics Anthology, I mean, it's pretty involved, as you can see by the pages that I'm doing. This double page spread here, all these different characters, even working at a larger size, I mean, this stuff is just so detailed, and I'm hoping it reduces, you know, it reduces pretty well. But a lot of this stuff, I mean, I had to break out the like reading glasses and really get in there to make all these little details. But yeah, it's a lot of work. So I think the hard part is over. I think this first spread is going to be a lot more difficult, because you've got a lot of just these people and everything, and it's a little easier to get away with kind of fudging or not having things so accurate if you're drawing like a mountain, or if you're drawing a creature or something like that. But with all the people that are involved, they kind of have to look right, and the expressions have to look right to kind of tell the story and everything like that. So even though this particular, you know, stretch, getting all this stuff done took a lot longer, I'm hoping the other two pages are going to go a little quicker. Another thing about deadlines is you want to sort of be a little flexible, and not that you want to say, I can't meet the deadline by then, but if that ever becomes the case, you definitely want to let people know in advance. But what I'm talking about is if you have so much stuff on your plate and it's like do or die, like there's no extra time to complete, that becomes a problem. So I tend to, you know, at least know that I can add a couple things here and there, because things are going to come up, especially if you've got these sort of long-term deadlines that you're working towards. Like I made a commitment the other week to go and do a Hellboy draw thing, and for Hellboy Day, just last weekend, I got to meet people, and people came out. We all drew Hellboy together. It was pretty cool, and that was kind of a fun thing that I was able to kind of drop that into my schedule because I allowed for that. So that's something you want to do too, because things are going to come up and you want time to do that. So that's you know, that's what I got to talk about as far as deadlines. Okay, so there you go. Week 12 is down, and we've got like, what, 2.5 weeks. So, you know, even though that last week is sort of a short week, we'll probably, I guess, just kind of 15 weeks total this will run, and then after that we're going to get back to some regular content and stuff like that. So I got to start thinking about what I want to do, because a lot of the videos I've been putting out, which is, hopefully you guys are enjoying this, but I know there's a lot of other stuff you kind of guys are clamoring for, like more art tips and things like that, not just necessarily the journey of me creating the comic and everything, but if you are watching this, I do appreciate it, because that kind of, it means something to me, because you're sort of invested in something that I'm doing as pretty much a personal project. I mean, it is community driven and everything, but a lot of it is just, it's just me kind of expressing, you know, the story I want to tell for this anthology and all that. So it's really cool that people are interested in what I'm doing. So not too much further to go, but a lot more work to do. So rather than just droning on, or I don't know whether your expression is, talking about this endlessly, I better get to work and get some more work done on this second kind of double page spread. So thanks for checking it out. I will see you guys later. That is all.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Also, you can follow me at Serkworks on social media. Do you like making comics? Then go to Serkworks.com and pick up the Comic Maker Starter Kit. It's packed full of fonts, brushes, templates, and more. And best of all, it's totally free.